My first book about nature. What is nature? Nature is all the living things on the earth. Trees, plants, animals, birds, fish, and bugs are all part of nature. And so are you. Make a nature table. Look, these are the things that you can collect to put on a nature table. Nature's here. Nature does not stay the same all year long. Can you spot the things that have changed in these pictures? Of the 4 different seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And do you know the name of these animals? Plants and flowers. People grow plants in parks and gardens, but wild plants grow on their own. All plants need light, water, and time to grow. Look how a plant grows from a seed to a beautiful flower with a long stem and leaves. And look at the helpful bees. These bees are visiting some wildflowers. Which of these flowers do you recognize? Do you know the name of the flowers? My favorite is the poppy flower. A bit about trees. Trees are the biggest plants in the world, and some are over 1,000 years old. Cover the labels and see if you can name all the parts of this tree. Do you remember the parts of the tree? The roots, the trunk, the branch, the leaves. Changing trees. Evergreen trees keep their leaves all year. Others, called deciduous trees, lose their leaves every autumn. Look, here they have some leaves, a lot of leaves. In autumn they start to fall, and in the winter the deciduous trees have no trees at all. Leaves and seeds. Trees grow from seeds, and different trees have leaves and seeds of different shapes. Can you match the leaves to their seeds? Do you know what leaf goes with what seed? Kinds of animals. There are millions of animals in the world, from tiny bugs to huge whales, but they all fit into groups. The 6 main animal groups. You have the amphibians, the birds, the insects, the mammals, the reptiles, and the fish. More about animals. People feed pet animals like dogs, cats, but animals in the wild have to find food or hunt other animals to eat. That comes to the food chains. A food chain shows who eats what. We are a part of some food chains too. Look. The mole eats the worm. The owl eats the mole. But look. The cow eats the grass, and we humans, some, if we are not vegetarians or vegan, we eat the steak. What do animals need? As well as food, animals need air, water, and exercise, and a safe place to live. All about birds. Birds live all over the world and come in many shapes and sizes. Peacocks, eagles, flamingos, and parrots are all birds. Whatever their shape and size, all birds have a beak, wings, feathers, and they all lay eggs. Here are some birds that you may visit gardens around the world that you may see. Do you know the names? A pigeon, a magpie, starling, goldfinch, a thrush, sparrow. insects and bugs. Wherever you live, tiny animals are all around, and many of them are insects. Over 1 million kinds have been discovered so far. Look, you have lots of different insects. Do you remember the name? Let's have a look. A bee, very good. And this? A ladybird, well done. A moth, very good. A snail, the ants, a worm, a butterfly, a wasp, and a spider. Welcome. Let's go. The deep, dark sea. The further down you go in the sea, the colder and darker it gets. Different kinds of plants and animals live in each layer or zone. You have the sunlight zone, the twilight zone, the sunless zone, and the abyssal zone. Look, there is a light blue here, but the deeper you go, the darker it gets. By the water. Ponds, lakes, and rivers are home to all kinds of creatures. Here are some to look for around a pond. Do you remember the animals that live in a pond? Yes? The frogs, the damselfly, the water lilies, a dragonfly, also snails and beetles. And look at the tadpoles and the frogs. First, they lay the eggs. Then you have the tadpoles, a froglet, and a big frog. On the beach. When the sea goes out, pools of water are left between the rocks on a beach. Many plants and animals live in these pools. Here are a few you might spot. Look, a starfish, a crab, seaweed, periwinkles. And look at the beach treasures that you can find on a beach. Wow. Some of these are not beach treasures is because the people leave plastic bottles on the beach. And this is not so good. Okay, animal tracks. Some animals have walked, run, or hopped across this page and left their tracks. Do you know? Look at the tracks of a mouse, of a bird, of a rabbit, a fox, a horse, and a bear. Nature quiz. Let's see what you remember. Which of these animals are mammals? Which of these belong under the sea? This food chain has been modeled up. Put it in the correct order to show who eats what. Spotting game. Can you find all of these things in the book? Which man-made object is the odd one out? Changing nature. Can you remember what each of the things in the top row will become? The egg? Will it become a butterfly, a tree, a frog, or a bird? Let's decide. And that's it. That's my first book about nature.